Hello everybody, and welcome to the madness. You are about to enter into the mysterious world of terror known as the Call of Cthulhu. And your ticket in is the Call of Cthulhu starter set. And Call of Cthulhu is hard to pronounce, so from now on we're probably just going to call it COC. So really quick, I would just want to go over what's inside the package of the starter set in Call of Cthulhu. You've got 3 great books here. Those happen to be the Introductory Rules, which obviously everyone should take a look at, and they're a very slim packet that is really easy to just hand over to your players, so that way they don't have to think that they have to read the whole dang book just to be able to figure stuff out. We also have a set of dice, and in Call of Cthulhu, believe it or not, percentiles play a key role, so that's why we have 2 sets of percentiles in here. In this package you've also got several really well done pre-made character sheets, and the effort put into the design of this character sheet is top notch. But don't let pre-made characters stop you, because I've also got 6 blank character sheets as well, which you know I gotta appreciate, and it only helps for the replayability factor of these adventures. Other than that, inside our starter set you're going to get a lot of handouts, and I must say the variety of these things are immense. You've got maps, you've got notes, you've got different kinds of areas and encounter rates. It's actually really detailed what you can have for these handouts, and these handouts are meant for the player. So that's everything that's included in the starter set physically, but now we gotta get into the nitty gritty. What exactly is in the adventures, and why should you buy the starter set? Hopefully why you should buy this starter set will be answered at the end of this video, and you'll agree with it. We've got 4 adventures in this set, 2 of which can be played solo, which is actually awesome for us. And if you do like solo play D&D, go ahead and check out the playlist right over here. But I'd like to go over a quick non-spoiler review of some of these stories to see if it might be something you could play in or you might think is interesting. And do keep in mind that Call of Cthulhu is a mystery adventure game. Adventure number 1, purely for solo play, is Alone Against the Flame. This particular solo adventure is about a character that you play trying to survive a fire in a library. The player must gather supplies and make decisions that could affect the outcome. The goal is to escape the burning building and discover the mysteries behind the fire. You'll encounter a bunch of different puzzles, challenges, and tests to really test your problem-solving skills. Paper Chase is the next adventure in this set, and we gotta say it's pretty cool that you can do this adventure solo if you really want to, but you can do it duo or with 3 people as well. So it's really great to just break into the small groups of COC. But in Paper Chase, you take on the role of a detective trying to solve a missing persons case. The player must gather information behind clues, interviewing witnesses, and making plenty of decisions that could impact the outcome of the story. The goal is to find the missing person and uncover the truth behind their disappearance. Next up is the adventure Edge of Darkness, and they recommend you can play this up to 5 or 6 people. We're really getting into the larger grouped adventures now. In the Edge of Darkness, this horror scenario involves you being any random old character in a small town. You've got to explore locations, gather information behind all of these strange occurrences, and the real goal of this adventure is to uncover the truth and survive the terror in the town. And then next up we have Dead Man's Stomp, another adventure meant for a larger group of players. This one I actually really enjoy. It's an adventure set in the 1920s, where the players take on the role of investigators investigating a series of murders in a jazz club. You must of course give your best Sherlock Holmes to investigate the murders, interview witnesses, and stop the murderer before he strikes again. All of these sound like really cool adventure ideas, and they don't even have to be just for Call of Cthulhu. With those cool adventures, do you think you're ready to play COC? No? With a little bit of bonus time, I want to go through character creation to maybe make a character right here and now for you guys to get yourselves attached to jump right into Call of Cthulhu. Just create a general idea for your character. Are they a detective, a warrior? Not in the Roman times, more like the gangster times. But it leaves lots of room for interpretation. Next step, we got to roll up our attributes or just pick them. And these are the basic stats that you would see in any TTRPG. Stats like strength, dexterity, constitution, intelligence, willpower, education, and luck. It's really just a reskinning or new flavor of the basic attributes that we all know and love. Next up, we need to choose a profession, and this is where we determine a lot of our equipment. Are you a media televangelist? Are you a medical professional? Or, hey, just a circus act? All of these could fit the bill. So, next up, we need to think about allocating points to our abilities. This is where a lot of the customization comes in with that general idea. So, if you were good at something, this is where you want to express that on the character sheet. My fifth and favorite step is express your sanity. We need to learn the origins of your character's sanity and any of the factors that may affect it. Let's also pick any equipment we may have left over, so if you're a warrior, reflect that. And believe it or not, we haven't even got to usually what people start with. The name, the age, the sex, the race. What is your character's backstory? Give it to him.
Who are you?
My name is Jeff.
We should also have a brief roll for ages. This can be random or you just choose it. And look at that, there you go. Now you have a new character to start into COC. Something that's super cool about Call of Cthulhu and not a lot of people know about, but you could definitely add it into any Dungeons and Dragons game if you were going to feature it anywhere. But in Call of Cthulhu, everyone has a sanity score, and there's a bunch of different factors that it can affect your sanity. Say something traumatic happened, the DM can call for a sanity check, and you really want to pass that check. Because insanity is absolutely insane. It can range from mild hallucinations to total dissociation from reality. And when the consequences of insanity are not outlined for you in the rules book, that's totally up to you. But sanity is also tied to willpower, so if you want to metagame just a little bit, that's how you do. Take note, all you folks who like taking chances. Is saving princesses and defending castles been dry since 1999? What will you do when you cannot rely on your +5 sword or magic missiles? The arrival of Cthulhu will undoubtedly throw into the air your normal routine, and that's great. So really quick, let's talk about fighting. In Call of Cthulhu, unlike Dungeons and Dragons, you want to avoid fighting. In Dungeons and Dragons, fighting is the main cake. Unlike D&D, you don't have a massive tactical advantage, and you don't have thousands of spells and equipments at your disposal. This is a survival game at its bare bones in Call of Cthulhu, and that's something we need to remember. The mystery and story comes first, and good God, you better hope you don't get in combat. But that's not to say that combat can't be fun and exciting, especially with a large group of people. So you've read the starter set, you've gone through all of the adventures, and now you actually want to sit down and play with a bunch of new players trying to introduce them to the set. What are the most important things that you should think of while sitting down at the table? First and foremost, this is a mystery adventure game, so planning, meticulous planning is necessary. It's not going to be make or break of the adventure, but when there's these little plot threads that they need to pick apart and tear just to get to the meat of the story, that's how you create a Call of Cthulhu adventure. If you really did want to go above and beyond, try setting the mood for a horror setting at the table. This is your chance to show off the spooky music, the crazy lighting, and any other tools that you could use to make the environment nuts. Anyone got a fog machine? Of course, explain the situation and ground rules of this game so that way everyone's on board. In games, the fun starts when you actually get to start playing. So don't overthink it, get to it, and make sure you can have a flexible mindset to improvise any role playing for your players. Use the starter set as a guide for different scenarios, NPCs, and a way to create a memorable adventure in COC. What should you really expect in a COC adventure? A semi-terrifying, interactive story where you must find the answer to puzzles and make tough choices. As the story continues, you'll be put through several mental and physical challenges, and with the possibility of meeting many dangerous monsters. Will you fight or run? This mythos can only be overcome with a strong willpower. While fighting against insanity, have you got what it takes to answer the Call of Cthulhu? I almost forgot, everybody. We've got a package to open. We are, of course, still doing the Pathfinder set, so let's see what we can get These ones are cool and super specific, I might say. We've got an Angelkin Redeemer. I'm gonna say that's probably the Pathfinder version of the ASMR. After this, a really detailed Knight of the Aeon Star. She's got some red hair and a crystal type sword. After that, we are a member of the Absalom Watch. There we go. Literally looks like a little policeman that you would see in a Lego set. And then last but not least, our Centaur Warrior. Oops. She's still alright. We've got the Centaur Warrior.